Welcome to the Next Biggest Winner. I'm George Cholis, host of the show that helps you find your next big winning stock. As you can see, we're coming to you from the Sheraton Hotel in Toronto, site of the Toronto Resource Investment Conference hosted by Cambridge House International. On this week's episode, we've got three great companies for you: St. George's Platinum and Base Metals, Genio Photonics, and Global Sea Farms. Joining us now, Frank Dumas, President and CEO, St. George's Platinum. Frank, welcome back to the show.
Happy to be here.
So, we had you on earlier this year, and you were by far our most candid guest ever, because rather than coming on here and talking about the great things that St. George's Platinum is doing, you actually expressed some disappointment, things that you didn't do right, but you vowed to amend a lot of things and come back onto our show. So since you've been on, what's been done?
Well, we've been through a long introspection, and we identify what we were doing wrong. And you're right, we actually moved on some of them. We changed the management. I moved out of the way. I'm now the chairman of the company. I'm not the president or the CEO anymore.
Who is the new president and CEO?
We have Rob Gardhouse, who's now the CEO and the president of the company.
Okay.
He's doing a great job so far. We actually have a new CFO also, which is Vivian Doyle-Kelly, who replaced Mark Billings. Mark stayed around as a director, and I stayed around also as a director, and we're helping the transition and helping these guys put the company back on track.
Yeah, so you need more support people at the end. You need a bigger
Definitely.
team.
We needed a bigger team. We needed also people that could really commit to the different mandates or the different objective or milestones we needed to achieve.
Right.
We also reversed we consolidate the stock. So we did a reverse split. We're now just short of 16 million shares.
How many did you have before?
There was 1.3 million, give or take.
Right.
There's a good chunk of it, about 50 to 55%, that's owned by management and
always a good sign.
Stakeholder close to the company. There's also a debt, not a debt consolidation, but actually there's a debt conversion. There was close to $2 million of short debt in the books. We had continued to do exploration and we had push on that side of exploration effort with no money. Just on,
You'll explain to me another time how you
credit.
do that.
Well, we have good friends in the business, but
right.
We had the drillers, we had geological companies, different suppliers, and we convinced all these nice people, including ourselves, that lend hard cash to the company, to convert on a 10 years debenture. With no, actually the interests are capitalized, so there's no pressure on the cash flow of the company. There's no pressure to finance.
It's built into the
for a few years.
The debt that they took on, the shares that they took on.
And with a conversion floor price that's way higher of where the company is right now, so there's no short-term pressure on the new management.
Nice.
And we eliminate about $1.9 million, so there's maybe $100,000 or so left in the books of the company of short-term debt. And this is something that will be covered by tax credit coming back from the government, exploration credits and GST, PST. So we're in a way better position.
That's significant. So you brought in new management. I think the biggest part there is you brought in new management, you tightened up the share structure, but the best part is you took all that debt off the books, which is always a big threat to smaller companies.
Well, it definitely created pressure on the stock price. It attached the ends of the management, because no matter what you do and what you want to do in terms of exploration effort, if you raise money, you run the risk that somebody in the creditors will decide to take the company away or just grab the treasury.
So now that you've made these big changes, I got to tell you, those are significant. That's not window dressing. That's real team building, real organization building. Where do you go from here now? So what's your primary focus? You're ready to go, management?
Well, part of the introspection was to look at all the properties. We had a large amount of properties. We decided to reduce it to a very small amount of properties. We're down to 3 main properties right now.
Good idea.
Everything else is either already in joint venture or in discussion, or it's going to be sold. And the last 3 properties that we have, we will maintain these 3 properties and focus on one. that has the potential to be a company maker. Well, that's the Julie property, and we had a lot of issues and problems with that property, a road that collapsed and that delayed the exploration effort on it over the years. But now we're good to go, we're ready to go. We just made a nice discovery there. We actually identified 12 kilometers conductor that is 100% coincide 100% with our historical discoveries. Mineralized section that we had discovered for 1.6 kilometers in the past.
What's the resource? What's the?
There's no resource estimate on it yet. What's interesting is there was a corridor of 1.6 kilometers that averaged 1.78. I'm sorry, person nickel on it.
Nickel, okay, that's.
And the interesting part is it looks like it might be mineralized further than that 1.6. At this point, we don't know the actual distance. But the geophysics did identify a 12 kilometers strike. That's along 12 kilometers, I would say, corridor. That's along the same strike than what we already identified.
And in this country, anytime a junior talks about a long corridor of nickel, you start getting people thinking of one of Canada's best success stories, which we won't say yet because it's, we don't want all this kind of...
It's premature, but yeah, watch for the next 6 to 12 months. There'll be some pretty interesting press release. So there's no urgency, there's no emergency to run and grab the stock of the company, but take a look at it, and we'll be back with some updates on it.
Well, I got to tell you, you're a man of your word because you came on here and you criticized yourself, and now you've come back on and tell us everything you've done right. We're going to talk more about the company and the roundup at the end, but until then, thanks, Frank.
Thank you for having me again.
We'll be right back with Francois Gonthier of Genia Photonics.